Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to design a brand identity for a vintage bookstore. So as you might already know, I love books. I read a lot of them, and one of my dream graphic design job is to build a brand for a bookstore or a library. So I thought it would be awesome if I could share this passion with you today. So before we start and we go into my computer and into the branding process, I wanted to tell you that I've already started on making this brand because I was way too excited to hold myself some. So I wanted to explain to you what I have already done. A little bit of a backstory for vintage bookstore. So I called this brand Beauty and the Book. This is a big reference of Beauty and the Beast, obviously. If you don't know, also I'm a big Disney fan, and I thought about making a brand about, you know, Beauty and the Beast and Belle's library, which is absolutely enormous and huge and beautiful. And so I really wanted to make this brand based on Belle's library. So there are three things I have already done prior filming this video: is the mood board, the color palette, and the primary logo. So together today we are going to keep on making this brand identity of this magical vintage bookstore. So what we're going to accomplish today is basically a digital illustration of like kind of an icon for the primary logo I've already made. I wanted to add something to that type logo I've made. I'm going to show you in a second. And then I wanted to do one submark, one logo variation of that. We can also maybe do a little pattern, and I kind of wanted to see how the logo will look on a bookstore sign. So if we can find that, we will do it as well. Now let's start with the mood board, shall we? So let's go right into Illustrator. So here you will see the mood board I chose as well as the color palette. So all the images and pictures that you see on the mood board are from Pinterest. I made an entire board called Beauty and the Book, and I took some pictures from there. So a lot of old books because I wanted to really remind that vintage part of the brand. This is why also I did those rounded stairs that reminds me of Belle's library, and obviously a touch of rose and red roses as of a reminder of Beauty and the Beast. And the color palette, so those colors I've been chosen from picking color with my eyedropper here. I pick color. As of right now, I really like the combination. I obviously put red in kind of gold color, so that reminds of the really prestige part of the beauty, and the red is really intense and powerful. Also the brown is a really good reminder of like wood and old, and you know, those old covers and those really old libraries. So I really like that, so I wanted to kind of integrate that within the color palette. Now, let's talk more about the logo. Okay guys, I am very excited about this, and so since I've already made the primary logo or started to do it, I kind of wanted to explain myself on why I make those choices. So first, I wanted the beauty to be like really graceful and beautiful, and like obviously use a script font. And then I wanted the book to feel like old and aged and more like a vintage look, because the brand is for a vintage bookstore, so obviously something needs to be vintage. But I needed two different fonts, or like two decorative kind of fonts to be together, so that was really hard. And I also wanted those two to be with each other, like in and out of each other. So I thought about adding, and as you saw over here, I added the Y into the O, and I made the Y even longer to go through the B. So at first, as I look at like this in black, I was like, okay, it looks good, but I cannot see the differentiation, obviously, because that was black on black. So I decided to already start with colors to see if my ID was about to be, you know, good. So it ended up really good. I really liked it, and obviously I chose the two strong colors, so red and gold, and I think it ended up really well. I don't think I will change those colors, but yeah, basically we have that beautiful bee, and then that Y that goes, so the Y, as you see on the black, it stops over here. And so I took the pen tool, not the pen tool, I took the pencil tool, and I just added, so you can see that it stopped over here, and I add with my pen tool a little bit of it to go underneath. So tap in here, and I'm going to explain quick how I've done that. First, I outline my text and I expand it, then I ungroup it, and I only took my Y, took my pencil tool, and drew after that, so that made a stroke. From here, I took my width tool that is here, and I made this a little bit more thin, here a little bit more thick, to keep on, you know, give that feeling that's over here, and like make sure it really looks like this is the following of the Y. And then I extended my stroke to be a shape, and I erased some part of the stroke to be able to you know, make sure it looks like it goes under, and the same over here. So yeah, when I expanded this Y, I could have done the same. I just erased and make sure those corner looks good thanks to the pen tool. So that was a little bit of a work, but I do feel like it's worth it. Okay, so I talk a lot about how I made the design after choosing the fonts. So let's talk about the fonts quick, and who they are and where I found them. So I found both of those fonts on Envato Elements. Envato Elements is like a platform where you can find fonts, graphics, graphic templates, mockup, really cool stuff for graphic designers, so you can go check it out. I will leave a link down below. But anyways, this font is called Memorable, and that font is called Ruffet. So yes, if you were wondering, this is the fonts and where I found them. This is the cool part, because this is the part that we are going to do together. So we are going to make a digital illustration to add to this logo. I have an image that I want to use. What I like to do is do those illustrations into my iPad on Procreate. Then I go to Illustrator, I image trace to make it vector, and from here we will make that vector icon to add to the logo. When I'm done with the illustration, I will show you how I end up on the primary logo, and we can start making the submark and the other variation of that Beauty and the Book logo. Let's get right into it. Okay guys, now that we made our quick illustration on Procreate, I put it on my computer and we're going to vectorize it on Adobe Illustrator. So here is our drawing over here. So it looks pretty decent. As I said, we don't need to go into the details or anything. We're going to make it a little bit bigger so we can see what we are doing. Image trace. This is vector, so I'm going to bring it over here. I made an entire video about image tracing. If you're interested, you can watch it. But anyways, I'm going to expand this. I do not want this. Alright, we keep everything else. We love it like that. I'm going to group it and I'm going to put it somewhere. If I can ungroup these and select all my leaves. So I'm going to select my leaves and let's see if I can make them this color. Perfect. I want this to be this red. And we can keep that other shape of a red. I think that's fine. Maybe too intense. Yes, that looks very good. So we made our illustration. So now let's see how we can put all of these together so, you know, it looks good and complete. Okay guys, I figured it out and I think I really like the idea. So this is a passion project and this is how I would have loved that brand to look like. So you know what? It's perfect for me. So this is how I ended up doing it. So the beauty goes into the book because it's beauty and the book, and the beauty is holding, so that Y goes in between the book and holds the book. So yeah, it's like the beauty is reading. So I really like the concept, beauty and the book, she's holding it. That's just beautiful. Now we need to think our submark. So we are going to use this guy over here to make our icon or pattern later on. So we're going to keep this like that, and then we'll have to do our submark. So for our submark, I thought about using both of the B and B.
I guess you're back. Are you gonna tell me where you went? All the messages I sent with no reply. It's like that. You're just gonna walk into my room. I hate how you assume I'll take the pleasure and the pain, the sorrows in your brain, 'cause I know you're on the run. I'll take the pleasure and the pain, your secrets to my grave.
It happen. I start erase and I can actually cut it in another way, so that took me way longer than it should be. But anyways, here is what I ended up with for the third mark. So it's B&B, beauty and book. So we have our primary logo, we have our icon, and we have a submark. So instead of having, you know, this square vertical block logo, we can make one that is like horizontal. So let's do this quick together and see. Okay, awesome. I am pretty satisfied about what I've made today. So the next on my list that I wanted to do with you today is maybe a cute little pattern, and then we can try to find an inventor element, like a venture of a store. See if our logo looks good in real life, and then at the end of this video I will make another brand reveal. Okay, so let's make this pattern, shall we? Really quick, I wanted to make, you know, a kind of like a sign for like a bookstore. So I kind of wanted to go into inventor element and see if we can find this shop, this store. Okay, maybe I should just do store. Store sign. This is pretty much how I look for things. Graphic template. All right, great. Okay, so here are some mock-ups of store sign, and as you can see, I need to find something that is very much old and vintage. I'm not gonna do like this one, for example, like way too fancy. So once I'm gonna look for them, and once I've chosen one, I will show you what one I have chosen, and we will put our new logo into it and see how it looks. Let me show you what I ended up with. Here is the final results. The thing is that I would have loved to see tons of different books to just look at the, you know, front of the shop and how our logo could look on the window and on that window over there, and also the brand marks on this big window. I love how this front is looking definitely goes with my vibe, and also it reminds of this gray color that's in the color palette, so that matches perfectly. So yeah, this is how our brand could look in real life when we pass in front of it in our street. So that is pretty amazing. You guys don't leave quite yet, because now we are going to do the entire brand reveal with some video photos and other kind of mock-ups. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel to never miss any of those videos in the future, because I'm always planning on make more of those. And if you love the design and the logo, please let me know in the comment down below. Don't forget also to like this video, that always help me out. Until next time, of course, take care, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.